Hello, it's Dave again at Trivaeo. So welcome to video number 6. Today I want to add our first new user, the electrician 1, to a team room that I've created. And I also want to update our products and services so that as a team of electricians we'll be able to start using our CRM platform to nurture leads and develop them into opportunities and then into projects. So as we take that journey, we'll need some of this information to be input. So I've logged in as my main CRM admin. You can see my admin button here. First thing to do though is to add electrician 1 to the team room. You remember in the previous video when electrician 1 entered, his team rooms were blank. So adding users to a team room is as simple as the admin of clicking on the team room itself and then going to your preferences for the team room. So each administrator of a team room sets them up here in the preferences area, and I'm going to say what members do we want. Now you'll notice you can add a self-service user directly to this team room without going through the front end of the platform. This is really useful for people that are huddled in the let's say the confines of a project. You can go and add a self-service user, let's say the client or a builder on a building site where we got to do the electrical work. We can add the builder or the foreman as a self-service user so he can see our preparations and drawings for doing the electrical work at that building site without necessarily adding them to the rest of the system. So I'll add an existing user, and this will take a slice through all the users we've got in the system, and you can see electrician 1 is waiting to be added here. So I'll add them to the team room and OK. So there we go, electrician 1, when he next logs in, he'll see the team room. I'm just going to make sure my notification preferences are relevant here. So new folders, new files, tasks, any blog entries, comments, new members added, a new project started, and I'll have a daily summary of everything that's happened in this team room at 6 o'clock each night. Okay, great. So the team room, main team room for projects. So you can see here, you can set up a team room for every single project that you handle, and you can have different users with access to that team room, and then self-service users as well. So this allows you to coordinate your activities quite nicely within the confines of projects or larger things that you're doing as a team or as a company. So that's that job completed. Let's go back to our main administrator. You notice here, I think I highlighted this in a previous video, that I'm still within the team room. So my cover sheet is team room related. It's not a cover sheet for the system as a whole. This might confuse you if you're not watching for it. So you notice here there's an option to leave. So I'll leave the team room and return to my main desktop and back to my main cover sheet, and we're back to the front of the system again. So back to administration, global settings. Now what I want to handle is the product catalog that our team of electricians has available to us. We can't start selling things until we've got things to sell or things to apportion to leads. So let's have a look at our product catalog. You'll notice by default, when the system creates this company for me, it creates some dummy or example products or services. I'm just going to go ahead and delete these. We'll start again with a nice clean sheet so that we can build out our business organically in keeping with what's happening. Now you could add your products and services as each lead or opportunity presents itself to you, but if you've got a standard catalog of things that you do, like a product that you sell or a value-based service that you provide, or time-based, so this could be material-based, that's time-based. You can also go ahead, if you've got an e-commerce shop and you've got thousands of products, you can actually go ahead and import them all in one go here. To do that, you don't have to worry about the details of the layout too much, because you can download an example XLS spreadsheet or comma-separated file. So if I open this up here, you see it's just product name, product code, and so on. So you enable editing in the dummy. You can do an import into this, or you can restructure an existing Excel spreadsheet of products accordingly. Fill it in, and then when you've completed it, you go ahead and import the file by clicking the little cloud icon here, selecting it. I'm going to do it manually So I'll go back to settings, product catalog. It's now empty. So let's add a product first. So here we are on the main add product screen. I can immediately see that there are areas of the add product screen that require information that's going to come from other parts of the system. That's evident to me here in these red backgrounds, so they're mandatory fields with drop downs or the ability to create new. So that's across categories, suppliers, providers and units. So this is the first part of the solution we've seen yet that shows the bonding between multiple applications in Trivaeo's cloud platform and on CloudWorks IT, that we can't be sure what applications you may enable and at what time you will enable them, or the number of the different major or sub-applications that you enable. Obviously, things like suppliers should be consistent across CRM, but also across resource management. The units of what you provide and the rates for them come out of skills, potentially in the HR platform, and much more. So for now, I'm going to limit the demonstration to using the locally managed product catalog to administer these things, rather than the facets of where they could be managed if you've got wider access to Trivaeo's cloud applications in your solution. This is absolutely a dependency of what applications you have enabled. It is possible to use the product catalog, for example, with resource management and service desks without using CRM in any way, shape or form. So I'll show you it standalone for now. Just recognize that the behavior of the system is a function of the number of applications you're using, and to a large extent many of the applications allow you to orchestrate the tangible facets of each application locally within each application, rather than picking that information from other bits. So this is the first time we've bumped into this scenario in setting up our electrical company. So I'm going to cancel adding the new product now. Go back to my main product catalog in global settings and have a look at the products and services capabilities as a whole. So in this product and services box, I've got access to the main product catalog. You've just seen me clear that. I've got access to a list of providers. I've got access to a system where I can store units that we sell and product categories. So let's add a few of these in just to make sure that when we start adding products to our catalog that we've got a good baseline to start with. So let's have a look at categories first. I've got parts, products, service and software from the template. So service, obviously fitting lights. Service makes a lot of sense. I've got a light fitting, which is a part. So I've got something to hold my light fittings. And products, parts, so I may have, that's subtly overlapping nomenclature, but I'll leave them both there for now. I'm never going to be selling software as an electrician. Well, you never know. So some modern home entertainment systems have got elaborate software on them, but I'll remove it for now. Let's assume we don't need it. So back to my categories, units. So what units do we sell things in? Units of one. Let's remove that. So let's add a unit. Now a unit could be, this is old army nomenclature, EA, each. Each unit is sold independently as a unit, but we might have a box of a unit name of hours. We might sell services in the form of an hour's worth of work, and they cost a certain amount per hour. So we'll add a new one, which is per day. So we have a day rate, we have an hourly rate, we've got each for our light switches, but we might have a box of 12, and we may have a pack of 2, just as examples here to show you that this is the nomenclature here for units, and it's arbitrary. You can create units as you see fit, so a carton of eggs is 1 pack of eggs, but it's 12 eggs in a unit. You've got all these different ways of storing this information here. So that's our units. Now, providers is interesting. Providers are anyone that provides a product, a part, or a service, and it can also be yourself. So let's add ourselves as a provider name, and obviously I'm using a standalone catalog here, so there's no drop down into the CRM, but so we got Acme Enterprises 4 Limited. So we're going to add ourselves as a potential supplier, but we've also got a company that provides us the lights that we're going to resell and fit. So we're going to add that supplier's name here. I'm going to call it Industrial Light Limited and add them. So I know at least for the first light switch that I think I'm going to add to the system, I've got the units, I've got the supplier, and I've got the provider. You'll see that when we come to adding the product here in a couple of seconds. So I've got my basic providers, units and categories set up, ready for me to start adding products. Now, if you've got an e-commerce site with thousands of products in it, you might not want to go through the detail of adding each one of these products individually. There's obviously an extensive amount of information on each, including details of cost and where they're stored and what have you, and shelf life. So you can also do this. You can import a list from your existing system. It's as simple as download the Excel template or the comma separated value template, and you can open it and enable editing. And now you can do a batch import or a data connection between your existing systems and this spreadsheet to import your products into this list. When you've completed it, you do File, Save, and then go ahead and upload it to the system. That will do a batch import of all of your products straight into the system, nice and simply. Very useful if you've got a catalog of thousands of products and you don't fancy inputting them all again. So that's that example. So I'm going to go back and add one manually now. So we're going to add a product and we'll work our way through the various fields. So first of all, add a picture. There's my 2-gang light switch. So I'm going to open that and add it. It's useful for people when they're picking products in opportunities to see a picture of the product that they're adding, make sure they get the right one. And I have 2-gang light switch. Product code is the pack code off or the SKU of the item. It could be your own product coding, or it could be the product code that's supplied to you by your suppliers. So 2-gang light switch, I'll use a short product code. So the category you saw is entering these, a service, it's a product or a part. I'll say it's a product. The supplier, who supplies this to us? Well, we've added ourselves as well as Industrial Light, so the supplier is Industrial Light. The supplier and the provider will be the same in this case. If you're thinking about, I don't know, let's use the example of a mobile phone shop. The supplier of the phones will be different to the provider of the network, right? So in this case, my supplier and provider of that is going to be the same. So Industrial Light. And units, how do we buy these? A box of 12? No, we buy them each as a pack. So pack size of 1. The location number, we'll just say 1. Minimum stock required 10. If you're using stock management in the platform, then obviously you're going to start getting alerts if your stock level gets below this level, triggering you to create a task to order more of these light switches from Industrial Light. So let's say the normal shelf life is 4 years. And can the user vary the quantity, and is the product launched? So you can create things that aren't yet available for in the future by unticking this. It's unavailable in opportunities. So let's say the cost to us is $4.99. The price to the client will be $9.99, and we've got confirmation of the adjusted price including VAT at the standard rate. So the maximum customer discount we'll say is 18%, and yeah, no, well, all right, if we're selling it to suppliers, we might give them 20%. And the manufacturer's suggested retail price of this product is $9.99. 2-gang UK light switch. So we've got the basic parts of the main template done. If this product comes with multiple parts, then you can add the sub parts of the product there. If you wish to link this directly with your Xero accounting platform, you do so here. Okay, so you can link it with Xero with the item code and type. I'm not going to do it in the case of this demonstration at this time, but there we go. Just check I got everything okay. So we're done. We've added our first 2-gang light switch, 2GLS. We got our picture and we're on our way. So let's add a time-based service for our electricians' time that they spend on site fitting this stuff. So let's add a new one. We're going to say service name is fitting professional services. Professional services. Category is a service. The provider is ourselves. Okay. It may be that we buy a product from let's say contractors from another place, and we can list them in here, including the rate. So margin, let's say, is 40%, VAT at 20%, and the maximum discount would be 15% on services. And is this a default action for timesheets? Yes, we'll have this as a default professional services. Now obviously when we do a quotation or we're handling an opportunity for a client, then you put in the amount and it will work out the total cost for the professional services based on these variables that we have here. So let's save that. So we've added a professional service and we've added lighting. So if we go back to the settings, product catalog, we'll see product, a 2-gang light switch, and in fitting professional services. So the same applies here for value-based services. Subtle difference here is this is a service where you're providing a fixed base cost per unit time. So we could have picked 1 hour of this service will cost this much to the client, and so on. So you can use both of these to establish your baseline for services, either as a value basis or on a time base, and product. So there we go. We've added our first couple of products to the catalog. Obviously, just to show you how that works, if we're in CRM and later on where we've got a lead that turns into an opportunity, when we're working the opportunity by adding a new one or promoting a lead to an opportunity, the product or services that we've added are available here. So we get that transition, and adding your price and what have you is as simple as selecting the product that you wish to add, and the detail all goes in. So if I say I want 5 of those, you see my subtotal is calculated, my VAT and everything else is calculated. I say my discount is 4% on this one. I'm not going to complete this one, but the picture of the product is automatically added. Do I want to close without saving? Yes. So you can see how these things start to cross-pollinate across the system in various places. There's a multitude of those, including the feeding of time-based values from your HR based on the skill of your employees into the system. But we'll get into those more complex use cases a little bit later on. For now, we've completed the task here of showing you the basic steps and processes of building your product catalog. And we also added our electrician colleague to our team room, so we got the beginnings of a business here. we're well on our way. So that concludes the video for today. I hope you found it interesting. Thanks a lot.